shift, the stakes are high. The mag breaks it down, no need to sigh. From EU rules to global news, Reg with Meg, your trusted views.
Hello and welcome to Reg with Meg's weekly regulatory roundup. This week, we're doing a deep dive into some major changes coming from Health Canada that are set to reshape the landscape for medical device submissions.
That's right. If you're involved in the medical device industry in Canada, you absolutely need to be aware of this. Health Canada has rolled out several new guidance documents that officially took effect in early 2026. These aren't minor tweaks. They represent a fundamental shift in how applications are prepared, submitted, and managed.
Exactly. The transition is significant, moving from traditional methods to a fully digital, more structured, and globally aligned framework. So let's break it down. What's the biggest headline here?
I think the most significant update has to be the new Guidance on Managing Applications for Medical Device License, which came into force on February 2nd, 2026. This is version 5, and it replaces the old 2020 version.
And it's not just for new applications, right? The guidance states it applies to all in progress, new, and even reconsideration requests, so it has a sweeping impact.
Precisely. The key changes within this guidance are what manufacturers really need to focus on. It introduces much stricter timelines and new screening procedures for deficiencies.
Let's unpack that a bit. Stricter timelines suggest that the window for responding to information requests from Health Canada will be shorter. There's less room for delay.
And the new screening procedures for deficiencies is crucial. This likely means a more rigorous upfront check of the application's completeness and quality. In the past, you might get a chance to fix minor issues down the line. Now, an application with deficiencies found during this initial screening could be rejected outright, forcing you to start the whole process over.
That's a major risk. It means the quality of the initial submission is more critical than ever. You can't submit a placeholder and hope to fill in the gaps later. It has to be right from day one.
Totally. This management guidance sets the stage, but the how of submissions has also been completely overhauled. This brings us to the next two interconnected and mandatory changes: the regulatory enrollment process, or REP, and the Common Electronic Submissions Gateway, or CESG.
Right. Let's start with the REP. As of January 2026, it's mandatory for all Class 2, 3, and 4 medical device submissions and amendments. So what exactly is the REP?
Think of it as a digital onboarding process for your company and your products. It's a web-based system where you create a structured profile for your regulatory activities. Instead of just sending documents, you're inputting structured data about the manufacturer, the device, and the submission type.
So it's a shift from unstructured communication, like emails and attachments, to a structured database format. Health Canada gets clean, organized data, which must streamline their internal processes immensely.
Of course, and for manufacturers, while it's a new system to learn, it should provide more clarity and consistency in the long run. The guidance is clear. This process now covers everything: new and amendment medical device license and all other related regulatory transactions.
And that REP process is linked directly to the second part, the CESG.
Yes, they work in parallel. If the REP is the process of preparing your information, the Common Electronic Submissions Gateway, or CESG, is the portal you use to actually submit it. This is the big one for process change. Submissions via email are no longer accepted.
That's the nail in the coffin for the old way of doing things. For years, regulatory affairs professionals have relied on email. Now you must use the CESG portal. The document warns that failure to use the REP system may result in application delays.
That's putting it mildly. More likely, it will result in your application not being accepted at all. If you email a submission today, it's going into a black hole. You have to adapt to this new digital gateway.
Speaking of digital, another major area of focus for Health Canada and regulators globally is cybersecurity. How do these new guidelines address the growing threat of cyber attacks on medical devices?
There's also the new Terms and Conditions framework, which became effective on January 1st, 2026. This one is really about post-market oversight.
Post-market oversight. So this isn't about getting the license, but about what happens after the device is on the market.
Exactly. This new guidance gives Health Canada the authority to impose legally binding obligations on license holders for Class 2, 3, and 4 devices. It's designed to enhance their ability to monitor medical devices throughout their entire life cycle.
So, in practice, this could mean Health Canada could issue a license with a condition attached. For example, a condition that the manufacturer must conduct a post-market study on a specific patient population or provide updated performance data after 2 years.
Yes, things like that. It allows them to address uncertainties that might exist at the time of licensing without keeping a potentially beneficial device off the market. It gives them more flexibility and control. But for manufacturers, it means the work isn't done once the license is granted. You have to actively manage these legally binding terms and conditions.
That adds another layer of compliance complexity. Companies will need robust quality management systems to track and fulfill these conditions.
Definitely. Okay, one final but very important update. Health Canada has also officially adopted the International Medical Device Regulators Forum, or IMDRF Table of Contents format.
Ah, global harmonization. This is actually good news for many manufacturers.
It is. The IMDRF provides a standardized structure for regulatory submissions. By adopting this, Health Canada is aligning with other major regulators around the world, like the FDA in the US and notified bodies in Europe who already use similar formats.
This means a company looking to market their device in multiple regions can create a core technical file in a standardized format. They won't have to completely reformat their entire submission for Canada. It saves a tremendous amount of time and effort.
Right. So while there are new procedural hurdles like the REP and CESG, this is a change that promotes efficiency on a global scale. It's a positive step towards a more unified regulatory environment.
So let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from this major Health Canada update. First, the new management guidance means stricter screening and tighter deadlines. Get your submission right the first time.
Second, email is out. All Class 2, 3, and 4 submissions must now go through the mandatory regulatory enrollment process and be submitted via the CESG portal. Digital transformation is no longer optional.
Third, be prepared for greater post-market oversight through the new terms and conditions framework. A license approval might come with ongoing, legally binding homework.
And finally, the adoption of the IMDRF Table of Contents aligns Canada with global standards, which is a big win for manufacturers operating in international markets. It's all about streamlining, digitization, and harmonization.
It's a huge shift, and companies need to ensure their regulatory teams are trained and their processes are updated to handle these changes effectively. Delays in this new environment will be costly.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. To leave our listeners with something to think about, we have a question for you based on today's episode. As of 2026, what submission method will Health Canada no longer accept for Class 2, 3, and 4 medical device applications?
We'd love to engage with you and hear your responses. Email us the answer at meg-marketing@medenvoyglobal.com. That's meg-marketing@medenvoyglobal.com.
Thanks for tuning in to our weekly regulatory roundup. Until next time.
Stay informed and stay compliant. Bye, guys.